Hi, it's Jay from A RWS Tarot, back with some more sparkle for ya, and welcome to the mass market must-haves, sparkles and clapping. All right, we all know that I don't do any of the fancy editing stuff, so that's what you get. So, like 4 months ago, Nova from Nova Mundi Tarot tagged me in the original collector's mass market must-haves tag. And the premise for that tag was mass market decks every collector must have. And I love getting tagged in any tarot tube tags. And but as I was reading through the prompts, I was like, oh, like, I don't think I can play. So prompts number 2, a RWS Tarot. I don't have a mass market RWS. Prompt 3, a non-Marseille pip deck. Don't have one of those. 4, a Marseille style tarot. Don't have. 6, a historical deck. Don't have one of those. Deck made by a renowned occultist. Don't have one of those. Number 12, an important esoteric tarot. Don't have one of those. So I don't have, I didn't have like more than half of the prompts, right? So I was just like, oh, I guess I can't play in this one. So fast forward to last month, Nova released the second part of the tag, which is best mass market decks for readers. Now, I guess that would maybe make me more of a reader than a collector, because I do have a deck for all of the prompts. Well, there is one overlap, but I finally was able to fulfill all of the prompts. So I get to play the mass market game. Now, the only rules that were laid out is that it has to be a mass market deck that is currently available. So I did leave out 1 or 2 Doreen Virtues that are hanging around in the back of the shelves, but essentially this is my entire mass market deck collection as well. So I figured I'd just make this my mass market deck collection video and also be able to use some of Nova's prompts as well. Now, I will give the caveat that some of the decks that I have are currently available as mass market, but I have the indie version of them. So there may be slight differences between like the version that I have, but they are mass market and they are available. So starting with the first prompt from the first video, number 1 prompt was an oldie but a goodie. And I'm like, oh, I can do that one. We got the Wild Unknown Tarot. And I have 2 piles here because I'm partway through modding this deck. I have already finished edging it in this like deep silver color many years ago, and I also added a little bit of colored pencil, so it's very minimal, but every card I added like a little bit of the blue here, I added a little bit more purple down here at the bottom, so every single card has a little bit more color that was added by me. And then what I am currently in the process of doing, and by currently, like, this is years long process, I'm adding information from the guidebook to the borders. And so that is just taking a very long time. Also, sometimes I include it in the actual image, but this to me is like tattooing my cards. So I'm, I have some of the majors done, but I did want to show like both ways that it looks. Now, this is an oldie but a goodie because Wild Unknown Tarot gets a lot of flack for being available in Anthropology, and the first deck that got everybody that wasn't into tarot and all that. But Wild Unknown is an oldie but a goodie. Like, there's a reason that this deck was widely marketed to the masses and accepted and brought so many new tarot readers into the space. And I feel like it gets ragged on a lot for being like too Anthropology type, but let's put a little bit of respect on Kim Kranz's name. Like, she did really do something different with this deck and all of the subsequent decks that are in her series of decks. So I think that Wild Unknown is an oldie but a goodie, and I like to see a little bit of love for it every now and again. This is, I think, probably my favorite one that I've modded. I just made the colors a little bit more me. And this actually is the mass market version, but there were 2 different like imprints that printed this deck. So I have the Harper Elixir version, which has really nice cardstock. I think there's also a Harper 1 version because the Wild Unknown Archetypes is printed by Harper 1, and I don't like this cardstock as much. So even though I hardly ever use Wild Unknown anymore, I don't see myself ever getting rid of this specific deck because I love this cardstock so much and I think it's kind of hard to find. For the original video, Old Prompt 5, which is an underrated artist deck, and also Prompt 7, a deck by a renowned artist or using a renowned artist's work, I chose the same deck, which is the Shadowscapes Tarot. Hear me out. Stephanie Poyman-Law is a renowned artist. Like, everybody in the tarot world knows the Shadowscape deck. Like, it's very well known. It's been around for many years. The Verdance Tarot was highly anticipated. She's a renowned artist, watercolor artist, but also at the same time, she's underrated. Like, she does not get nearly as much accolade as I feel like she deserves for just the intricacy and the beauty of the artwork that she's created. This deck has a special place in my heart. I used pretty much just this deck for probably about a year, like around 2018, and this was my main reader. I love this cardstock. It's so nice and easy to shuffle. I did buy like the French version that was gilded and the Czech version that was gilded, but nothing, I moved those along because nothing ever beat this original OG version that I had connected with. For being such a renowned artist, she also is underrated. Like, why isn't her artwork more heavily loved upon? Because it's just absolutely stunning. Old Prompt 9, a recent release, and 13, favorite mass market publisher of collector's decks, would be this Crystal Keys Tarot, which is actually just being released today, but I managed to find an early release copy from the creator's website, and it was made by Red Wheel Wiser, which this is the only Red Wheel deck that I have, but the production quality on this deck was so nice that I felt like I also had to give it its props for that as well. This is a beautifully created digital collage artwork deck that was written by Dina Rosenberg, and the artwork is by Amalia Drews. And I believe from conception to production, it was like 4 years in the making of creating these beautiful crystallized artwork. And it's truly just a beautiful feat of creativity and thoughtfulness in the tarot world. I did film a walkthrough because I was so excited when I received this deck. I've been using it since then. I do love it, but there are like certain cards that I love more than others. Like anything that looks like the more iridescent-y, I mean, we all knew iridescent tarot, like what do you expect? So these cards I really, really love, but there are so many other cards that are more solid colors that I don't jive with as much. So we're gonna have to see how, after some longevity with this deck, how it fares with me. But I do feel like it's beautiful. But it is a recent release, as in, I believe it's released today. So yeah, this was a fun one. Like such a nice shuffle and beautiful gilding. Old Prompt number 10, an underrated deck. For this, I chose the Heavenly Bodies Astrology Oracle. This is a deck that I feel like comes and goes. It's like mentioned and then hides back in the shadows in Tarot Tube world. And I think that it's a common sentiment that people get this deck to learn astrology, and then it pops up as a deck that's like, well, I bought this to learn astrology, but I hardly ever use it. And I think for me that's true as well. But I will say, despite that being the intention for purchasing this deck, the oracular phrasing at the bottom, which ties in both with the astrology and the imagery and in the guidebook, it does give good oracle readings. And one of the cool things that you can do is separate it out into like the heavenly bodies, the houses, etc. And you can create sentences. You can line them up, line the different categories up and like make full sentences out of them and create your reading that way. And I think it's really cool. And I just think that overall, this is a pretty underrated deck in the tarot world. But the artwork is just beautiful, beautiful. Old Prompt 11 is a deck by a renowned deck creator, and this is Herb Crafters by Joanna Powell Colbert. This book was written by Letitia Guthrie, but the artwork is by Joanna Powell Colbert, and she is the person who created the Gaian Tarot, which is a long-standing favorite amongst many, many people in the tarot community, and I think that her second deck was highly anticipated. I did more recently purchase this deck. I talked a lot about it in my recent video, My Idealized Self Made Me Do It, why I purchased this deck. I had seen another tarot tuber who had this deck as their only deck for a full year and really squeezed every drop of juice out of this deck. And it just was something that I was so impressed by and was hoping to be able to do something similar myself. And I just had to face the fact that my idealized self just is never going to be that one deck person. And I could just use this like any other deck, and it doesn't have to be my one singular deck, and that's okay. I did edge this in sparkly silver. You can hardly see it. And for the curious among us, we've got the nail polish today, Emily Damali Key Drama. It has chipped a little bit because I've been wearing it for quite a few days now, but this is my most favorite nail polish now. I think it has finally taken the top spot, and there's nothing about this polish that I don't like, and I very rarely buy backup bottles of nail polish, but I actually bought one of this, so if that tells you anything. And then my perfume of the day is Lake and Sky 1111 Vanilla. This has notes of vanilla cream, marshmallow, fresh star apple, sea salt, signature musk, to create the feeling of being wrapped up in cashmere. This is just so lovely. The original perfume 1111 is a beautiful musky, fresh, but still down to earth scent. And when they added in the vanilla flanker, this just is everything that I want. And this is a mass market perfume, so this is pretty readily available. Okay, this one was wrapped up in my tarot tube stock that I showed at the beginning of the video. I just love this one. It matches the color of the deck so perfectly to me. So moving on to the second set of prompts here. This is number 1 and 2, best for practical, mundane, everyday matters, and best for love and relationship readings. And this is the Lumina Tarot. So I do have the indie version of this deck. I've had it, since its inception. I love this deck back in the day. This was my soul deck for a while, but I don't read with it a lot nowadays because the figures in it are just so people-y. And what I mean by that is that I can see real people in them. So like this, I don't know, like it looks like a model, and this kind of looks like Spencer Pratt from The Hills. And then you have like this wide variance in people in some cards and pip cards in the others. And this guy looks like the Dos Equis guy. And but despite all of that, it still is a good reader. And if I had to choose one of my mass market decks for a practical, mundane, everyday matter or a love and relationship reading, it would be this deck. I remember specifically getting a tarot reading by a tarot tuber back in the day, and she used this deck, and it was just a very profound reading for me. And this just like looks like a model, and I'm not down with that. This looks like Cillian Murphy for me. This looks like the dad from Shameless. If I go through and list all the different people that I see in it, but I do think, despite those shortcomings, Megan Fox, that I only have 5 mass market actual tarot decks. So if I had to pick one of those 5 for this prompt, it's going to be this one. Actually 4, because this one doesn't even count. Prompt 3, best for shadow work, and I picked the Creative Consciousness Healing Oracle. I'm not into like super dark imagery, and this is a fantastic shadow work deck for somebody like that who wants to do it without having like Murder of Crows looking decks. And this has very specific shadow work topics within it. So like rainbow boundary, protecting your true self. That's something that is easily a shadow workable topic. Realizing your dreams, communicating your truth, more talk about boundaries, clearing away what you don't need. I don't know, there's just like something about this that allows me to work on shadow work without it feeling like it's grim. And I just really like it for that. Prompt 4 is best for career and life path readings. This is the Sacred Creators Oracle. This is another one where I have the indie, but the mass market is available. I like this deck specifically for work-related questions or career decisions, and I think it's very down-to-earth and practical, and it's got this like life path type vibe without being too up in the air. And one of the things that I don't know if a lot of people know this, but like the first 22 cards are modeled after the major arcana. So 0, overthinking and spoiled magic. I'm pretty sure that that's the Fool. And then like 15 would be the Devil, the destruction of shiny things. So I really like that that's baked in. Yeah, You Are the Magic is the Magician. It's baked in. The story that Chris Ann shared about creating this for like the boardroom to be used as in an oracular way, but like in the boardroom, just really, I think that it perfectly works for that. And so this is my career and life path deck. Prompt 5, best for healing and emotional recovery. That would be Into the Lonely Woods. This is a deck that I don't think I would ever let go. It fills such a specific little niche in my collection, and it is gentle and thoughtful and caring and supportive, and it's really just there for me in tough times. And I don't know, I can't say enough good things about it. It's definitely got a specific melancholy energy, but in a very, very grounding and supportive way. And I think it's just so special. I know this artwork is used in another mass market oracle. I looked at the keywords. It's not the same for me. This deck is just one of a kind and truly, truly special for the work that it does. 6, best for decision making and gaining clarity. Well, I don't know Lenormand, but I know that that's what Lenormand is used for. Am I right? I haven't learned the system yet, but I do have this deck. I know that this is mass market now. I do have the indie version. I am not sure that I'm ever going to learn this, but I have it. And I know that like one of the things that is raved about in Lenormand is its ability to do quick decision making and gain clarity. And so yeah, I think if I wanted to do that, I have just the deck for it, but not yet, folks, not yet. Prompt 7, best for daily guidance or daily pull. That's going to be the Prairie Majesty Oracle. This is another one that I have the indie version of. This deck is just so versatile. It's got the keyword, it's got the animal, it's got the question. There are just so many ways that I can use this deck, and I think if we're looking at something that's best for daily guidance or a daily pull, you can pull any one of these cards in the morning and then all day long ask, how can I be of service? And then just repeat that throughout the day as a mantra. How can I be of service? How can I provide shelter to others when in need? How can I think about the big blue stem? And if I don't know what that plant or animal is, the guidebook is fantastic. It's got everything I need to just start the day with a specific message in mind, and I can use this as an individual daily guidance, or I can use this as a pull that I use tarot cards with. So rather than just pulling this and asking myself the question, how can I be of service? I can also then shuffle my tarot cards and see what comes out. 10 of Wands, when I see somebody carrying too much, maybe somebody at the grocery store who needs a little bit of help, they have too much in their hands, I can intervene and help. Like very practical way of applying the advice from the deck. So I just like the ability to use this alone, or I like that I can pair it for a daily pull with tarot as well to help answer my own questions. Prompt 8, best for beginners, something practical, easy to use, yet a bit extra. That would be When My Soul Whispered Oracle. When the prompt said a bit extra, I do really appreciate how well produced this in mass market is. We've got really great cardstock and then these sprayed matte gold but still shiny edges. I just think that it was well done all around here. This is practical to me because it has both an animal that you can think about, a keyword you can think about, and then the colors are associated with chakras. So you have a specific chakra card for each color, like yellow is the manifest and green, heart chakra is love. So you have just different ways of using this. Like, you know that this is a bee, so you're thinking about maybe how bees don't have a lot of work-life balance. Yeah, it's just got a lot of different ways that you can kind of go about using it. So I think it's good for beginners, it's practical, it's easy to use, it's got a little bit of something extra to it. Number 9, best for intuitive, free flow style readings. That would be the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit. This is the same mass market cardstock as my Wild Unknown. I edged it in a lighter silver, and then I also did a little bit of colored pencil addition to it. I have not tattooed the outside yet, but I think that this deck is really great for intuitive free flow readings because you only get the image and the name of the thing that you're seeing. So it's not like you have the owl as the visual and then it says knowledge or wisdom or anything like that at the bottom. So it really opens you up to the energy of the animal rather than a prescriptive keyword or phrasing that's at the bottom. Oh, I love how the colors of this buffalo blend in. I also really love that they added like a tiny bit of hollow, like hello hollow. 10, best for taking to parties for fun, engaging readings. I've never done that, but if I did, I probably would take this Wild Unknown Pocket Archetypes, because it's in this sturdy tin, so it's like super portable to throw in your bag, and if you're just like hanging around the campfire, you're with people who want to do tarot readings, you know what I mean? The cards are like fun to look at and spread around, and I don't know, there's just something about this that gives like party vibes to me. It's almost like confetti. Then the colors on the front side is like just so bright and fun, and the thing about it is because these are archetypes, the information that you get in the guidebook is really hearty. And so you come out to the party with this deck that you're like, oh, like look at my fun deck, and then you read about the shapeshifter, and the person who got that card is like, oh crap, like this is like a true message for me that I need to listen to. So yeah, I just think it would be fun for that. Also, I like how my idea of a party is just a campfire. Tells you what stage of life I'm in. And prompt 11, best for reading for people who are scared of the tarot or a hug deck. That's gonna be Dirt Gems. And I do have the indie version of this, but this is widely available. And you may have thought that I would go for something a little bit lighter in visual, but I specifically picked this because it's got such a strong guidebook that really encourages the querent to believe in themselves, believe in their power, and like it's like a pat on the back that's like, you've got this and you can get through anything. And I don't know, there's just something about it that I feel like there's a hug deck element to it without it being pitiful. The images are not scary at all. There's nothing in here that's like frightening to look at, but some of the topics are a little bit heavier, but nothing that's like scary or frightening to me. I wouldn't be afraid to pull this out for a friend that wanted a reading that is afraid of tarot. I did read through every page in the guidebook and then wrote a keyword and a key phrase on every card, and this was inspired by Aldana from Elements of Tarot. And so that just makes using this deck all the more fun to me. because like Bee Balm might not say a lot to me when I'm just looking at the card, but Energy and Bloom Bright does say a lot to me. And so I kind of made it my own. So there you have it. Those are my mass market decks. I don't have a lot of them, but the ones that I do have, I feel like are, you know, really great readers. Like, there is a reason that they're in my collection for sure. And I really enjoyed responding to Nova's tag in order to share that with you, but also being able to share all of my mass market must-haves. Even if some of them are the indie version, they all should be readily available mass market these days. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, all the things, and I will talk to you later. Signing out.